Today, Donald Trump tweeting about the shutdown, using less than 140 characters to write. The Obama administration has a very important duty to provide a budget and then negotiate. Our country is a laughingstock. And get this, a Trump fan suggesting President Obama read The Art of the Deal to learn to negotiate. Donald Trump joins us. Nice to see you, Donald.
Hello, Greta. Congratulations on your new wonderful time slot.
Oh, well, we're thrilled to be here and thrilled also to have you, Donald. So let me get right to the first question. Donald, we're having a hell of a time trying to negotiate here in Washington. So tell me, if you were president, what would you do?
Well, very simply, you have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The president has to lead. He's got to get Mr. Boehner and everybody else in a room, and they have to make a deal. And you have to be nice and be angry and be wild and cajole and do all sorts of things, but you have to get a deal. And unfortunately, he's never been a deal maker. That wasn't his expertise before he went into politics, and it's obviously not his expertise now. But you have to get the people in a room, and you have to get a deal that's good for everybody and good for the country.
Do you have a sense, though, both sides want a deal? Now, Speaker Boehner says he wants a deal. He accuses the president and the Republican leader in the Senate of not negotiating. They say they have such a strong position that they don't want to deal. So how do you get someone who doesn't think he needs to deal to deal?
Well, I don't think the president does have such a strong position. I think the strongest position they have is that the Republicans are bickering and they don't seem to get along. They're not unified. If the Republicans were unified, they would have the cards. But the fact is that the president, in 20 years from now and in 100 years from now, when you talk about the Obama administration, they're not going to be talking about Boehner. They're not going to be talking about Reid. They're not going to be talking about any of these people. They're going to be talking about Obama. And in terms of legacy, I think it's very important for him to make a deal and to get it done. I also think the Republicans are pretty steadfast. I know the speaker very well, and he's a smart guy and a tough guy, and I know he wants to do well for the country and do what's right for the country. And frankly, I think the Republicans are going to be a lot tougher to make a deal with. They want something to happen with Obamacare because they say ultimately Obamacare will destroy the country, and they want something to happen. So whether it's a debt ceiling or Obamacare, they want to make a deal, but they want it to be right.
How long can we keep raising the debt limit before we implode? I mean, at some point, I assume we can't just keep extending it, that we're not going to be able to make the interest payments. Is there sort of a magic threshold?
Well, nobody knows the answer to that question. It's going to be a very interesting question. We are right now $17 trillion. We'll be hitting it any day, any moment, $17 trillion in debt. There's never been anything like it. We've never been. This is uncharted waters. We've never been there before. But 17 trillion is a number that nobody thought possible even 10 years ago. I mean, that nobody thought it even possible. And the word trillion was impossible. If you look, you know, when did we start talking about trillions? And now it's a very common word in our vocabulary, unfortunately. So something's going to have to be done. There's tremendous waste. I mean, you look at what's going on right now. You see the kind of waste we're talking about, tremendous waste in our government. And frankly, our country is not doing well. Unemployment is really terrible, not 7.3%, probably 17 or 18%. When you get the country moving again, lots of good things will happen. Unfortunately, this country is not moving in the right direction.
How do you get the government, our government, to care about waste? One just simple example is $67 million the IRS cannot account for that it was given to help with the rollout of Obamacare as part of a larger sum. They can't account for the $67 million, and no one seems particularly disturbed about it. And maybe chump change when you look at a debt ceiling of 16+ trillion, but $67 million is a lot of money, and there seems to be little or no interest here in Washington to go find it.
Well, what about when you hire thousands and thousands of people to explain Obamacare because it's 2,900 pages, it's totally complex, nobody can understand it, and the people that they've hired don't understand it, and you then create a website, and they've worked on the website for years, and now the website opens and it's useless, and it's just not working. It's dead. It's terrible. And frankly, probably the same thing's going to happen with respect to Obamacare. People are being put out of work. People are being hired part-time that never had a part-time job before, but they're being hired part-time now, Greta, because of the fact that That's to the employer's advantage. It all starts with competence. You need great competence. When a website goes up and it doesn't work, it's broken. The website is broken. It doesn't work. And this is the beginning of Obamacare. You would think that after all of this talk, the website would be flawless. It's totally broken.
Donald, always nice to see you. Thanks for joining us, especially on our first night at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Thank you.